Did you see Dave Tepper?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, who would you rather have as an owner, Cal or Dave Tepper?
Cal.
Knowledge is power.
Cal. And you know what?
Who would you have said before he
Dave
threw up his first H?
Dave Tepper.
You would have said Dave Tepper.
I would have said anybody. I would rather.
Is it Cal or is it Dave Tepper that has changed your
team?
Is it Cal?
I make great decisions.
How much of it has been Cal's transformation?
Some of your decisions lately are.
How much of it is his transformation?
What are you talking about?
Do you want to ask him?
Go ahead.
No.
All right, then. He ain't brave. Go ahead.
I'm not asking because he might answer.
No, not even this he would answer.
You sure? Okay. Anyway,
go ahead.
How much of this is Cal's?
It's Hannah.
Well, whatever. How much of it is the McNair's? The McNair's transformation into iconic T-shirt guy with throwing up the H and a pinky ring, and how much of it is just Tepper being a lunatic?
Well, it's both. I think both, but both play into it. How about this, though? He said, now it's been reported, we talked about it originally, we were going to go with the number 2 pick, and we thought we'd get CJ.
So they thought, so let me just tell you, they thought there was going to be a 3-way trade where the Texans move to 1 and take Bryce. CJ Stroud, this is the belief. CJ Stroud goes 2 to Carolina Panthers, and then the Bears, whatever. It was going to be a 3-team trade, and the Texans got cold feet and pulled out of it.
And also, this might have been had something to do with the last game of the season, too. They knew where they were going to be right there. Oh, no, they actually didn't because the Bears had the second pick.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So, we were going to go with the number 2 pick, and we thought we'd get CJ because we thought the Texans were going to pick Bryce. Listen, we preferred Bryce. He was our number 1 pick. Okay. And it's cost Frank Reich his job. Allegedly, Frank Reich said he liked CJ more, but he since has said no.
Well, not on draft day, he didn't.
Yeah.
On draft day, he said, this is our pick. Everyone was on board with Bryce Young. Yes. This has become
he said
the new
it was
thing.
Unanimous.
This is the new thing where you want to get out of it.
Tepper said,
you want to start whispering. If you didn't love Bryce Young, now you want it to be known if you're Frank Reich. Dave Tepper, it's believed, stepped in and made sure that it was Bryce Young. I believe Bryce Young was a building decision. However, good organizations all get on board once the decision's made. Even if they have a difference of opinion, you get on board and you ride or die together, and these are going to be rats scurrying from the ship now. But Dave Tepper is firing everybody. Like, he seems if you're Bryce Young, read his comments. If you're Bryce Young, I can't have faith. He's responding like this. He's responding because of how his quarterback's playing versus how CJ Stroud is playing. Yep. That's all this is. You talked about it yesterday. Frank Reich got fired because of CJ Stroud, as much as about Bryce Young.
Right. As much about 1 in 10 as it was.
And if you haven't watched Bryce Young, this kid is under duress all the time. Yeah. It is a terrible situation, and that's why I don't give up on Bryce Young, because this is a terrible situation in Carolina.
So let me ask you this. Mike Florio wrote yesterday that Tepper's commitment to Young complicates the Panthers' coaching search because plenty of coaches will not want to coach Young based on his height. I don't know.
I'm not really buying into that.
I ain't buying that.
And I'll tell you why. I don't really buy into it.
First of all, there's only 32 jobs, and you're going to take that job.
Well, I don't buy into it. Yeah, exactly.
There's 32.
That's why.
Yeah.
And he's a good kid. He works hard. He's got some talent.
He's going to be better than he is.
He's got some talent. He's got face the franchise stuff. Yeah, and they need to find a left tackle. They need to improve the wide receiving core.
I could see where guys wouldn't want to have coached Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I could see that because of, the Kyler Murray stuff, and we heard behind the scenes and the work ethic and all of that stuff. Now, allegedly, Kyler is better than he was before, but I could see where a coach would go, I just don't need that. I'm not going to – you know what? He's a coach killer. He's going to kill me. He killed Cliff, and he's going to kill me too.
That's what you're not going to you'll not go there if you think Bryce isn't good. You wouldn't go there because you're going to be stuck with Bryce for a minimum 2 more years and maybe 3. But if you think it's because he's short, I don't think that's going to matter as much. I think you'll take that job and you'll try to tighten up the running game. You'll try to improve the offensive line. You'll make sure your defense is good. I don't think Bryce Young's height is going to stop him. But you never know. I mean, maybe there are going to be some coaches fundamentally, but I don't think the big thing would be, do they want to take a job with Dave Tepper? I don't think it's about Bryce Young. I think it's about the owner. The owner does not show a lot of patience. The owner seems like a guy that I'd be concerned about working for him.
Yeah.
I'd be concerned about working for him right
that's
now. Way more than Bryce Young.
Way more than Bryce Young.
I'm more worried about
Absolutely.
Dave Tepper.
When you fire a guy, now what was going on behind the scenes that was Frank Reich really that bad in the development of Bryce Young? Frank Reich has got a track record.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. You know, Frank is a very calm.
Sounds like there's a lot of backstabbing.
Well,
going
Frank
on
is
in
an
that
FCA guy. It's not Frank Reich. Frank Reich is a Fellowship of Christian Athletes guy. He is a patient guy. He's not a loud guy. Maybe he didn't have the urgency. Maybe Dave Tepper didn't like the fact that Frank didn't seem urgent enough with the situation. You can't. Rome isn't built in a day. You couldn't fix that. You drafted Ike Ekwonu at left tackle, and he's been a disaster in pass protection. You can't fix that one day.
Yeah.
It's not fixable in one day. I mean, D'Amico has done an incredible job of fixing it way better than Carolina and Nick Caserio has, But even then, that's not brand new fixes. There are some, it's been free agency. I mean, they got a quarterback that's playing better, but Laramie Tunsil was not new. Titus Howard is not new. They did bring in Shaq Mason. Nico Collins has been on the team. It's pretty much a fresh start for the Texans, but there's been at least a little bit more of a ramp up. Carolina, worst organization right now in football.
Jackie makes a good point. You go in there saying, "Oh, I can fix him. I can fix him." Then a year later, you say, "Can't. We got to get rid of him." Just like Gary Kubiak did with David Carr.
Yeah,
same thing.
And then
he said, "I can fix him. I can fix him."
But then you're stuck.
And then a year later, beat it.
Oh yeah, because Gary came in at 6.
Yeah, David's last year.
Was that David's last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came in. Yeah, he. Well, David didn't have the best work ethic, but Bryce Young is different in that. Bryce Young is going to get it.
He's just small.
But he's going to get it. He got it at the SEC level.
Yeah, but John, he's also like David Carr, under duress all the time.
How about getting some offensive line?
But I worry about bad habits being developed when you're constantly under pressure. I worry about your footwork getting bad. I'm worried about you starting to see ghosts, not letting plays develop. You can also develop bad habits because there starts to be some scarring from the pressure and the sacks nonstop.